So, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or whenever you're watching this. So, it's my dad's memorial match today. So, we are fishing Staits Lake, which was my dad's favourite lake by a mile. When we first ran this, I ran one match on the canal, and one match on the Staits, which is dad's favourite lake. And then what we do then, we'd have a final. But like a lot of things change. So now I just run one match. So just on Staits. Last year, Staits got shut due to spawning, and the club was good enough to give us Gilman's, which my dad loved that lake as well. So still the same. Oh, that's bright. Still the same complex. So for those who don't know Staits has got a decent head of carp, but they're quite big, wise. The lake, even though it's a gravel pit, is a little bit silty, and I feel like they don't really want to feed on the bottom unless you're chucking it tight against the far bank or down your edge or short. Now, because it's a daytime match and there's quite a few of us on it, 21 if everyone turns up, then not been funny, I don't believe we're going to catch down the edge or short. Yeah, I could be wrong, I've been wrong before, but my prediction would be I don't think anyone's going to catch any carp short or down the edge, because you just ain't going to have the room. Wrong time of day, great big uns as well. Hey, the very, very odd one would be caught maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised if none are caught. So a pellet waggler will be undoubtedly the main method for most people. Again, like I said, because the lake's quite silty, I feel them fish just don't want to feed on the bottom really. If you can get to a bare bank, and there's a couple of pegs you can, then a method feeder to the bare bank would work, no doubt. I have absolutely no idea how to fish. I really don't, because I just don't fish it, but that would be, from my experience, that's what I reckon will happen. There's loads of silvers, there's a lot of roach, and there's a lot of bream. Now, bream, if your fish is really hard, bream could win it, no joke, because they're good size. We're gonna have apparently 14-mile-an-hour winds, but you'll need to be on like the bottom half of the lake where it's deeper, and that's where the carp are going to be potentially as well. So you could have the best of both worlds. Don't really want to draw at the top. That's where I normally draw. Don't normally want to draw at the top on the first like little island. It's just very shallow, very silted up there. You know, you'd be looking if you got 2.5 foot, and them carp just don't want to be there. You know, again, I could be wrong, but I think I've been running it for 7 years or maybe 8 years, about, isn't it? I can't even remember my dad's own match. I think it's about 7 or 8 years we've been running it, and you know, I don't think I've ever seen a weight come off up there. I think Magoo caught a carp up there, so fair play to him, on that top bank. I think that's the only person that's ever caught a carp, in my match anyway. So if I draw it there, I just fish for roach and small skimmers. You might get the odd decent bream, but generally speaking that would be tough. And then what I'll do is I'll peg it a bit strange. I'll like put one in the corner, and then well, I'm supposed to do sections of 3, so try and get, it's really awkward to peg this, and no matter what I do, someone will come away either moan at my face, which is fine, or moan behind my back. I still don't moan at my face, but it is a nightmare to peg. It really is. You got ropes and stuff, and it just, the pegging will be tight. I'll probably try and give more room up the top end of a lake, and then the bottom end of a lake where it's good, I'll probably put more pegs. I think that's the fairest thing to do. Try and give everyone a day's fishing. So with that, I could do sections of 3, so it's like 25 quid to enter, £5 go to cancer research, so at least 20 quid in the kitty, £5 for peg fee, so I put £10 towards the section prizes and £5 overall. So I do, if 21 fish today, if everyone turns up, then I'll do 7 sections of 3, paying 30 quid, and then pay top 2 overall, no defaults. So therefore, you know, you might walk away with like 90 quid if you win the match. Well, you will win 90 quid if you win the match, as long as everyone turns up. So not a bad payout for a charity match. There is an optional silver pool, quite a few people go in it, not everyone, because I don't want to force an optional super pool, so I don't want to pay 25 quid pools and I take, say, £5 out for silver fishing, and not everyone want to do it because it's a carp lake, so obviously people might want to just think, right, I just want to fish for carp, so therefore that's why I make it an optional rather than like dictate and take money out of that prize pot that people have no intention of fishing. To fish for skimmers, I like to try and catch them on paste. I know I'm a bit of a paste head, but I feel like cupping in like corn micras, maybe a tiny bit of ground bait, and if they start fizzing on it and stuff, I just think you'll catch bigger ones doing that. And you know, cheap way of fishing, might even give yourself a chance of catching a carp. Probably unlikely, to be honest. But failing that, worms and ground bait, that'd probably be one of the best bits, or dead maggots. That'd be another good bait to catch skimmers. And then, you know, you could try and catch rope shallow, either on maggots or casters. Try and catch them short, just to rest that like main sort of like bream line. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, it's like a bit bittersweet, really. Nice to fish this match, but I wish my dad was still alive. Therefore, obviously, we wouldn't be fishing it, if that makes sense. But yeah, and then on a brighter note, and then the following week, I'm back to South Cerney again, and we're fishing Gilman's for the first round of the Super Sixes, which is like Steve Heath's match, and Ellen helps run it. So funny, I used to fish South Cerney all the time, especially when I lived in Cyrene. I've got some fond memories fishing the club. I've got some very fond memories, to be fair. So it's nice to go back today, but obviously I wish I wasn't. And that's in the sense, I wish my dad was still here. And then then we're there again next week at Gilman's, which would be looking to catch tench mainly. Tench, maybe some skimmers in area, well, tench in areas, skimmers in areas, and then if it fishes really hard, because I believe there's 21 of us on there, and a day match as well, might be looking to catch maybe potentially some rudd. But when I fished my dad's match there last year, I couldn't catch him. I couldn't catch anything. I think I had one tench, I think, and a few bits. So yeah, anyway, let's see where I get drawn. So, because I'm running the match, I was first to draw, but I didn't draw the peg. I got Pedro to draw it for us, and he drew me peg 6. Funny enough, he drew himself peg 5, so he's next to me. Started on the method. I gave this 15 minutes, had 2 chucks. Never had a line or anything, pinged a few pellets. Pedro next to me on 5 just had a carp. They don't make them small in here, even though there's a few small carp in here now, but generally speaking, the original fish, they're, you know, I don't think they're under sort of £7, to be honest. So already a little bit on the back foot, but where I've drawn, I just feel I want to fish for silvers anyway, to be honest. You wanted to be a bit further down the lake, but hey, I'm not making excuses. In retrospect, looking back at it, I think I should have given the method feeder a little bit longer, to be honest, and maybe should have fished it late. But the trouble is, you do that, might give away your silver, so you're never going to win both, really, I don't think. Not here anyway. So gonna go short on maggots. So like I say, we're about just over 15 minutes in. I've been loose feeding it from the start. Put some ground bait to my right and pellets to my left. So this is a little tiny roach, not quite what I expected, but they're boiling on it already, as in like the fish are right up in the water, so I'm fishing probably a third of a depth. Feel like maybe could have gone maybe a bit shallower, but the issue would be is I feel the water's just a bit too clear. So just keep loose feeding, light elastics, just fishing 0.14 main line, 0.10 hook length. I don't think you need to fish really light hook lengths. Probably shouldn't have swung this. just for durability really. And if you did hook something big, which is so unlikely, then you got some sort of remote chance of getting it out. Just a 1mm hybrid elastic, which to be honest with you is spot on for this. Just keep the fish low when you hook them, so they're not splashing all on the top. But Parts next to me, I'm going to call him Bagger Parts. He's definitely the worm master. He's catching skimmers already, so this is forcing my hand a little bit, to be honest. I feel like this is just not going to win you anything. You know, unless it switches off and that, like I say, it could be
a little cart, about an ounce,
a line you can fall back on. I think if you've done this all day and done it pretty well, I think maybe you might do £25 to £30, but I think what will happen is that it will get harder to catch them. I don't think you just can maintain it, to be honest. So just feeding emp and maggots. So I've had to go long. So I've got quite a bit of fizzing, but in my experience on this league, I'll be a little bit careful. It's not necessarily all skimmers making blows, all carp and stuff. Believe it or not, even the little tiny fish, especially with the lake, like I say, been a little bit silty in the intro, so you'll be a little bit careful. I remember fishing the top in the car park in the middle, and I had fish like blowing on my like 5 metre line, and it was just like little roach, and it might sound real daft, but I think quite a few of it is perch as well, just obviously just all rooting around on the deck, eating the ground bait and maggots, etc. I could be wrong, but I couldn't catch any skimmers while I was out there. So this is on my pace rig, so just fishing 018 main line to an 014 bottom. So I wanted to fish reasonably light, because obviously looking to catch skimmers, so I didn't want to fish like 020 straight through, because I just feel that might put a few fish off. And like I said, I don't think you're going to hook a carp on paste. I'm very wrong. Pedro next to me had 2 on paste in the last sort of hour. So I did get a bit of a battle on either side. Carps had £53 of skimmers to my £40. And Pedro has had £16 of silvers and £41 a carp. All the weights are at the end. So fair play, that's pretty good weights really. I mean, look at it, that car obviously is red hot. I think it's about 30 degrees. So, knowing I'm behind, sort of trying to force the peg a little bit. Not like going crazy, but trying to give him a bit of bait. You're just thinking, am I not feeding enough? Because there must be absolutely millions of skimmers, roach, etc. in this lake. And I just feel like, I know there's a lot of bream in it, and maybe I'm not, far enough down in the lake. I don't know. I don't like making excuses. I definitely haven't done it right. I think maybe I shouldn't have fed micros and corn. I should have fed 4 or 6 mils, just soaked. Not like stupidly wet, but definitely bigger pellets. This is my biggest fish, this was. I don't know, sometimes you think maybe I should have fished hard pellets or something for him. Or maybe meat, but I think meat would just get pecked away by little fish. I even come short on paste, so slightly to my left, so it's out of the way. I had a couple of skimmers on it, and 3 little carp. On the phone to Derek for words of wisdom.
Hey Derek, I don't know how to say this, but I love you. Right, I'll catch you later.
I just found I couldn't keep them coming, maybe because parts has just fished like one line, come a bit shorter, and he's like, well, rephrase that, he's caught like 11 metres, that's where he's caught most of his like Bream and that, and then he had another line at 5 metres, but mainly he just fished one line, which maybe I should have done. I've like maybe split my fish, made it more awkward for myself. So maybe the fish would just be feed better in numbers. So I just found I was like rotating lines, and I just couldn't keep them coming. So Jay's Crump, the winner on the right with £121. So congratulations, well done mate. My mum's in the middle, she didn't fish. And then Chav to the left, aka Martin Howard, was second with £81. Parts won the silvers with £53. So fair play to him. I was second in the silvers with £40. Kev Hewitt was third with £36. Here's all the weights. Congratulations to all the section winners, and I really do appreciate your help. We raised 230 quid for cancer research. So here's the details of the cancer research. So just to show that I've paid it in, and there's the reference number if anyone wants to check it.